just a few more weeks out, baby! And college football will be back. I won't be back. I'll be watching my home games from my lovely Sooner Palace with all my posters and OU stuff up. So I will not be there, but I will be, or at least I'm planning on, going to New Orleans the next year for the season opener for our beloved Oklahoma Sooners. Speaking of the Sooners, that's our preview today. We'll preview the Sooners of Oklahoma. Coming up next, Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away! James, welcome back to the show. The final preview that we'll do for this summer, the Oklahoma Sooners played their home games at Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. Last season overall, 12-2. Just 8-1 in league play. They did finish 8-1 with Baylor finishing 8-1. Oklahoma beat them in the regular season in Wacko Waco, and then handled them again in the Big 12 Championship. In the Big 12 Championship, got the best of them 30-23 in overtime at AT&T Cowboy Stadium to earn themselves another bling bling ring for the Big 12 Championship, also earning them the right to go to the college football playoff again, where they lost to the LSU Tigers in the Peach Bowl, lost it 65-28. Did Lincoln Riley and the Sooners. Speaking of Lincoln Riley, one of his top prep quarterbacks. This is one of his guys. One of his high school recruits. Finally, one of his high school recruits getting a chance to play. And that would you think would be, at quarterback at least, would be Spencer Rattler. He wears number 7 for our beloved Sooners. Does Spencer Rattler. Only 81 passing yards last year and a touchdown. 33 yards was his longest completion. 27.0 in average completion rating last year. Appeared in 3 games. Now, that's probably why he only had 81 yards and a touchdown overall. 3 games. Remember, if you play in any more than 3 games, you lose that red shirt. So he's now a redshirt freshman is number 7, Spencer Rattler. So even though he doesn't have a lot of playing time, he's got playing time coming up. Now, these 2 guys did have a lot of playing time last year. In fact, they were the second and third leading rushers in for the Sooners last year in 2019. Coming back, 26 Kennedy Brooks, and 29 Ramondre Stevenson. We'll start with 26 Kennedy Brooks. 155 attempts last year at the end of the day for 1,011 yards on the ground to go with 6 touchdowns. Longest run was from 48 yards and averaged 77.7 yards per ball game in 13 games last season. As did the third leading rusher play in 13 games last year. That would be number 29, Ramondre Stevenson. 64 attempts last year to go with 515 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns in his own right. His longest run was from 75 yards out. He averaged 39.6 yards an average in 13 games. Now, when 26 Kennedy Brooks played in only 13 games, he got injured in the Big 12 Championship game we mentioned against Baylor. So that's why he only played in 13 games. Now, the only reason why the third leading rusher, Ramondre Stevenson, did not play in the 14th game not because of injury, but he could be suspended for between 5 to 6 games this next season because of a failed DUI drug test after the Big 12 championships. He was held out of the LSU game that we talked about in the college football playoff, but it could be that game could not count. It might not be able to count. If it doesn't, he'll miss 5 to 6 games this season. If not, he'll miss 4 to 5 games this season because of the drug issues. Leading receivers for Oklahoma coming back. Number 2, Theo Howard. He comes in as a grad transfer, with 51 receptions 2 years ago to go with 677 yards and 4 touchdowns. 58 was his longest catch 2 years ago, and 56.4 yards on average in just 12 games. In 2018, he was with UCLA. 2019, last season, he tried to get out there and play, but with a wrist injury in the preseason, he didn't play last year for UCLA, so he grad transferred to Oklahoma. The third leading returning catcher for the Sooners this year did play for the Sooners last year. That would be Charleston Rambo. Touchdown Charlie, 43 yards, 43 receptions last year to go with 743 yards. 74 was his longest touchdown run, or longest reception of the year. Averaged 53.1% last year as far as yards, and played in all 14 games. Defensively, the second and third leading tacklers coming back. Of course, we all know the leading tackler, now making a name for himself, hopefully, out with the Chargers. Good luck out there, big boy. Replacing him as the leading returning tackler is the second tackler returning from 2019, and that would be 32 DTY. That's Delarian Turner-Yell. Second leading returner on the team with 75 total tackles. Did force a fumble last year. However, recovers fumbled and interceptions, did not have one from his safety position in 13 games. The other safety is the third leading tackler on the team. 57 tackles for number 10, Pat Fields. 57 tackles, 0 forced fumbles, did have a fumble recovery, and 0 picks for the safety. Played in 14 games last year for the Sooners of Oklahoma. Special teams, Beamer Bowl is what you call them when you have Frank Beamer. And, looking good for Beamer Bowl this year. Really good. In fact, how about this, guys? Gabe Burkick, 17 for 17, 100% for along of 50 as far as field goals concerned. Played in all 14 games last year for Oklahoma. Also playing in all 14 games was the punter last year, Reeves Munchau, 38 attempts last year, 42.2 an average, 67 the longest punt of the year in 14 games. Their head coach, Lincoln Riley, 2006 graduate from the Raiders of Texas Tech. Has only had one head coaching job in his short head coach career. That's all at Oklahoma from 2017 to present. That accumulates to 42 games where he has a record of 36-6. That is an 85.7 complete percentage ranking in all 42 games. But in the bowl appearances, 0-3. But they are all college football playoff appearances. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. My name's Harry James. In a few weeks, we will preview Missouri State and Oklahoma. That game has been pushed now. It was first week 1. Then it was pushed back to week 0. Now it's going to be pushed back another. Now it's going to be back to where we're past where it originally was, week 2 of the regular season. Alright guys, thanks for watching. My name's Harry James. Thanks for watching for myself. You can catch this and all my other videos on YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. Also on Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or on Twitter, Hype Man Harry. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and Boomer Sooner everybody. Peace.